To welcome everybody to tonight's open session. It is 7:01. I'm going to call us back from closed session this evening. And we have nothing to report out. So we're going to move right on along with our meeting. So this meeting is recorded for live streaming and archiving on the district YouTube channel for your convenience. We're going to move into the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would like to ask Dr. Beatson if she would lead us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hold on 1 second. Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as written, please?
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Moss.
Yes.
Trustee Ferrucci.
Yes.
And Trustee Gross.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is our highlight, and I think I am going to ask Tim Rahill to do the intros here. So thank you.
Yeah, good evening, board and community. We're very happy to highlight our maintenance and operations and grounds department. We have our director of M&O, Alfredo Romero, tonight, and he's going to highlight all the wonderful projects they did over the summer, and he's also brought along a couple special guests as well.
Hi, good evening, Madam President Zeta, distinguished board members, Superintendent Dr. Wright, and your executive cabinet. My name is Alfredo Romero. I am the Director of Maintenance and Operations for the Benicia Unified School District. And tonight it is my privilege and honor to present to you a small slideshow of some of the work that went on during the summer 2022. So the eloquent Miss Georgina Martinez is going to help us start the slideshow. So I was gonna commentate during those, but then Mike told me we couldn't have the music and Mike at the same time, so. But if there's any questions you guys have about that, I think, can we run it while I'm closing this up? Thank you. So in closing, I'd like to take a brief moment to thank you all for your support and your leadership. It means a lot to us all in the maintenance department. Our maintenance department is a wonderful, fantastic team. And I say team kind of lightly because in the maintenance department, we call ourselves a family. And how that has come to be, it has escaped me. I don't really have any one place to point and say this is why. And I think it's for a lot of reasons. You know, there's a lot of talent, a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships, a lot of dedication. And I think it's all those things combined that make this a special team. But a couple of people I can point at are here with us today, and that is, if you wouldn't mind standing up, Mr. John Da Silva, the supervisor of the maintenance, and Mr. Ronnie Estrada, supervisor of the grounds department. Now, these two folks are they're fantastic leaders. They have, you know, impeccable records here with the district for a long time. They work really well together, and really they're the nuts and bolts of the entire department. So gentlemen, you know, you have all of my thanks, and yeah, so thank you again. If you wouldn't mind standing up, one more round of applause for these two guys. So what, yeah, if you wouldn't mind. So just real quick, some of the highlights, obviously, with the bigger stuff happened at Robert Simple this year. If we can move to those, I think if you click the bar. So that's some tree work. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of trees that have gotten sick in California. We've done our part to try to keep what we have. We've treated a lot of trees, and getting the sick trees out as soon as possible is one of the major things that we've been doing. There's some sewer work that happened over at Robert Simple, some tripping hazards at the high school, whatnot. There's a picture of John there making ramps at Joe Henderson. Ton of electrical work went on over the summer. We had a huge water leak that created an electrical shortage at Matthew Turner Elementary. That got taken care of. And then here's I think for me was the big one, was the Robert Simple painting. And John and his team came together, and also with help from the grounds department, they all kind of put a lot of elbow grease in. And you can see those before pictures and the after. If you walk through that campus now, it feels completely right. So yeah, if there's any questions.
Can I just say thank you?
Oh, that's what
Thank
they're
you
here for.
to your the whole staff that has been working with you, because I know I just had an opportunity to go visit Robert Semple with CC Grubbs this week, and it does look great. I mean, the exterior looks really pretty and polished, and it was nice to see some changes happening in the positive way at Robert Semple. We love Robert Semple. So thank you for, you've kept us abreast of all these different things that you've done all along the 4 years that I've been here. And it's always a pleasure to hear you talk or to see reports come back about what the updates are. So
Oh, thank you.
thank you so much. Anybody else?
I'd like to say something too. I've been on the team with Alfredo and Tim on the bond thing for the last 8 years. And they have been such an integral part of the work that's gone on with the bond. It's been pretty amazing. I think we all agreed, we were really clear that the most important thing was the environment for our children and our staff, that everybody had a very positive and a very clean and fresh environment. And you guys have far exceeded that.
Thank you.
I walked all but one school this week. Christina, I'm coming. But, just walking the schools and seeing what our kids have, where they go. This is their home. This is their home away from home. And it just was such a good feeling to walk every one of those sites. They were just they were all amazing. They're clean, they're well painted, the stuff it was just a wonderful home environment for our children. And I need to thank you guys, because I know you do a lot, and then we ask you to do a little bit more, and you do. So it's always pretty amazing. And I know we have more to go, because we still have bond work coming down the pike, so we're not done. There's always going to be more tomorrow, but you and your team, your family, have been an incredible asset to the district, and I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, that is true. The bond and maintenance department work pretty closely on a lot of the projects, and I constantly tipping my hat to the bond. Thank goodness that they're working so hard at taking care of the stuff, doing the actual construction and handing over that maintenance to us has made our lives, it's a game changer, really. And again, Mr. Rayhill has been absolutely fantastic leader, and no, he really is. He knows how to. Well, I tend to get a little excited sometimes. Like, slow down, Fredo. we need to take our steps, and it's always the right move. So yeah. All right.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we're going to move on to item number 9, our reports. First up is student reports, and I'm happy to say that we have 2 students joining us this evening. First up is going to be Navia Avalos from Liberty High School, and she's going to share a little bit about what's going on at her campus.
Good evening, President Zeta, Superintendent, Dr. Wright, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. My name is Nevaeh Avalos, and I'll be representing Liberty High School this year. Liberty High is off to a great start, and we want to welcome all the new students and their families. We had our first Spirit Week, and some of our themes were Beach Day, Crazy Sock Day, and Pride Day. We had a wonderful turnout for Back to School Night, and we would like to thank all those from the school district, families, and students who came out to support us. We will be recognizing Suicide Prevention Week. We will have our Chalk for Life event on September 7th. Working with the Kyle Highland Foundation, we will talk about suicide prevention and ways for help and how to cope. We are excited to say that we have several students enrolled in community college classes for the fall semester. Please wish them luck. We are planning our first Learning Through Interest field trips. Based on student input, we will be visiting Sonoma Raceway, local tattoo artists, and the Department of Forestry. We hope to visit new places later on in September. On behalf of Liberty High School, thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Good job. And next, I'd like to introduce Jinjin, is it Gao? Jinjin Gao, who's the ASB VP at Benicia High School. Welcome.
Good evening, President Zeta, Superintendent, fellow trustees, and cabinet members. My name is Jinjin, the ASB Vice President for Benicia High School. Last week was the second week of school, was a welcoming back to school spirit day. Monday was PJ Day. Tuxedo and Picture Day were both on Tuesday. Wednesday was anything but a backpack day. And we also held a club charter meeting for all students that are interested in starting or continuing a club. Thursday was Aloha Day, and Friday was Blue and Gold Day, with the first home game versus Fairfield High School. And by the way, we won. This week, we have most of our fall sport teams in action, with volleyball, water polo, girls golf team competing. This year, we decided to have our homecoming early, so we started to accept homecoming guest request forms and memorandums on this Monday, August 29th. Next week, homecoming ticket sales will begin the day after Labor Day, September 6th, Tuesday, and Check for Life and suicide prevention events will also happen during that lunch. The club charter will do on September 7th, and on Thursday, September 8th, from 5:30 to 8 p.m., Benicia High School will host back to school nights. On September 9th, a Friday, we'll have our first minimum day, and senior sunrise will be happening that morning starting from 6:30 a.m. Moreover, there will be a Benicia Grad Night info meeting on Wednesday, September 14th, and the club fair will also taking place on September 16th. September 28th is the movie night, and September 30th is the homecoming rally and game on CBT rally schedule day. And on October 1st is our homecoming dance between 8 to 11 p.m. hosted outside the quad. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. It's good to have you guys back. It's good to have students back because we missed you, the ones that were standing in towards the end of last year. So it's not, we're back. Yay. Okay, we're going to move on to our next item, which is approval of the, to the superintendent's report. Dr. Wright.
Good evening, President Zeta, trustees, and team. My name is Dr. Wright. Our students did a great job of highlighting Suicide Awareness Week, which is September 4th through September 10th. Our schools have various activities that they're going to do throughout the week. I think we heard about the Chalk for Life activity, but I also want to highlight our staff's role as well. They're sending out correspondence through newsletters to bring awareness to families about suicide prevention, and they're also attending trainings as well. And this really aligns well with our LCAP goal of social and emotional learning. So our staff's really engaged in Suicide Prevention Week from September 4th through September 10th. I also want to highlight the walk that's taking place. The Kyle Highland Foundation, they're hosting a memorial walk on Saturday, September 10th. Participants will meet at the Benicia Teen Center, which is at 1135 Church Street at 10 a.m., and they will walk to the 9th Street Park, where they'll gather at 11 a.m. for a ceremony and activities. I also want to congratulate Craig Holden. Many of you know Coach Holden is a longtime athletic director and football coach in our community. He has been named the 2022 North Coast Section Football Honor Coach of the Year. The attributes that go along with this recognition includes maintenance of professional standards of conduct, service to the sport, outstanding coaching accomplishments, and additional contributions to the school community. He'll be presented with this award during the NCS football championships later this fall. Usually happens in about late November, early December. We're very proud of Coach Holden and appreciate all the work that he's done for our community over the years. Back to school nights, Benicia High School, September 8th, and our elementary schools will engage in back to school nights on September 22nd. All events will take place at 6 p.m. I want to close my report by sharing the listening and learning meetings. They're going well so far. So far, I met with our maintenance and operations team and also our IT team as well. Tomorrow, I'm scheduled to meet with the Benicia Middle School staff, our district office directors, and also our district office staff. Next week, I'll meet with Benicia Middle School parents on Tuesday, September 6th at 6 p.m. at Talktown. I will send out email correspondence reminders to our parents so they can join us. I'll meet with Benicia Middle School students on Thursday, September 8th, and elementary principals on Friday, September 9th. And lastly, I just want to mention the Coffee with the Superintendent event on Thursday, September 8th at 8:15 at Henderson. So I'm really looking forward to engaging our stakeholders in conversation. Thank you.
Good information, Dr. Wright. Thanks for all you're doing. We're hearing good things, so thank you. Next up are our board reports. Anybody have anything that they would like to share?
Yeah, just very briefly for me. I did not get a chance to share this information at the last board meeting, but as you all may be aware of, I also work for Senator Bill Dodd. So I was able to acknowledge with some wonderful certificates from the senator
for our debate team. So I was able to get certificates done for Michelle Gaines. She's the advisor, and then along with other, there was some, I think there was one other advisor that works with her, but also all the students who were acknowledged for their work. So I just wanted to let everybody be aware of that. I don't have the list of names with me right now, but I did make a note that I wanted to acknowledge the debate team at Benicia High School. So that's it. Yeah.
They did do a fantastic job, so congratulations to them again. Go right ahead, Mrs. Grubbs.
Oh, I had the pleasure of accompanying Mrs. Zeta to Robert Semple and Matthew Turner this week. And I have to say, our intent was to go to all 4 elementaries. Really, I don't know why we thought we could do that, but we did get to 2, and we will reschedule the other elementaries, and then we'll be scheduling out BMS and BHS and Liberty. And yes, so but what I wanted to say is, number one, how beautiful the campuses are. They are absolutely gorgeous. Robert Semple in particular. We saw what we saw was really a happy staff, happy kids. The teachers that we were able to just touch base with briefly were just so enthusiastic about how smoothly the opening of the year went, that the kids are really ready to be back. And I have to tell you something that we saw in CDU at Robert Semple. So we just kind of, we poke our heads in because we didn't want to interrupt any teacher that was teaching. But here are the 2 CDU staff members, Diane Altman, and I just apologize, I didn't get her her partner's name there. But they have these little tiny kids, and they're rocking them. They're just rocking them in this beautiful space with all these kids, you know. But I think it speaks to the commitment of Benicia teachers and the love they bring to every classroom. We saw this, the kids were so happy. And we saw how, what a friendly, comfortable, atmospheres there were. It was beautiful. It was, we saw teachers teaching. We did not interrupt them, of course. But it was great to see. So thank you to those schools who let us just come in and walk around, and we're going to get to every single school. Thank you.
I'll second that. I mean, it was a great time. The energy on campus was incredible. And to watch the kids, even just to ask the kids, are you so happy to be back at school? Yes, we're so happy. I'm like, yes, that's good. So yeah, we had a really good visit at those sites, and we're going to continue on with that journey. So watch for us. Anybody else?
Yeah, I actually did. So I have only one more school to go. I've been walking for 3 days. So you just end up getting wrapped up and you stay way longer than you think you're going to stay, or probably that we should be staying. But I have to second what you're saying about the tone. Walking the schools last year when we first got children back on campus, I was so concerned because of the tension with the kids, with the teachers, or, especially the little ones who hadn't been to school for a year and a half. They're like, how do we sit down? And I thought, oh my God, this year was just amazing. It has been such a tremendous difference. I mean, people are moving. It looks like the children have been there forever. You are all doing an amazing job. There was not a room that was not a delight to be in, to sit in, to listen, to talk to children. So I just want to say thank you. Kids, teachers, it was great to be seeing classrooms. I mean, even I stood outside for lunchtime. I did lunch duty at one of the schools with one of the principals, and it was like, I mean, they're just humming along, and it was like, oh my God, you wouldn't know it was only the second week of school. So it has been a delight, and Christina, I'm coming. It was just too late. It was like after the afternoon lunch recess, and I thought that's not a good time. So anyways, I have one more to go, but it's been great walking. So thank you for letting me walk in on you.
Thank you, everybody. Okay, we're going to move on to comments from members of the public. All functions of the board meeting, including public comments, will take place in person. Members of the public may address the board at a regular meeting on any item within the board's jurisdiction. Speaker cards are available on the entrance table. Please note the item you wish to speak to and submit a card to the board secretary. The board president will call open session general comments during public comment item number 10. Comments for items on the agenda will be called during the specific item number. Comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker, or the board may choose to limit the total time to 20 minutes per item with the timer displayed on the monitors. By law, no action may be taken on any item raised during public comment periods, and matters may be referred to staff for placement on a future agenda of the governing board. Please be reminded to keep your comments respectful, as students may be watching the board meeting. Thank you. And we have no public comments today. So it's just, I have to read that, but we're going to move on to the next item. But you can all come whenever you want and share your comments with us at our meetings. Item number 11. Background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes action without discussion on a roll call vote unless discussion of items has been requested by a board member. So that's approval of the consent calendar. And I will have to do a second separate roll call for an item that's a resolution in here, but we're going to first go tackle the whole thing. Was there anything anybody had any questions about? No? Okay, can I get approval of the consent calendar as written?
I'd like to recommend that we make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Moss?
Yes.
Trustee Ferrucci?
Yes.
And Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Now we're going to pull out item D, resolution number 22-23-01, establishing appropriations limit pursuant to Article X111B of the California Constitution and adopting the 2021-22 actual appropriations limit and the estimated 2022-23 appropriations limit, the GAN limit. So do I have a motion?
We could actually use the same motions, we just need to do the roll call.
Oh, okay. Can I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. President Zeta?
Yes.
Trustee Moss?
Yes.
Trustee Ferrucci? Yes. And Trustee Grubbs?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to our last items of the evening. First is the DARE program update, and I'm going to turn this over to Dr. Wright.
Good evening. I first want to just thank everyone that provided input into the DARE program discussions that we've had over the last year, shared insight into our communication practices, and expressed interest in partnering with the district as we address some of the inequities within our organization and our community. This discussion item follows a series of meetings that transpired last school year. Concern was expressed after DARE t-shirts with the thin blue line flag were given to our students at a DARE graduation at one of our elementary schools. And it is my understanding that this action was not intentional, but regardless of the intent, it's something that shouldn't have happened. And as an organization, we do our best to remain politically neutral when working with our children. We aim to share all sides of the spectrum, engage students in discussions so they can formulate their own opinions. When mistakes occur, we must make amends in a timely and thoughtful manner. Unfortunately, we sit here today unable to rewind that clock and undo some of the mistakes that were made. But fortunately, we can move forward, we can talk, we can learn, and implement protocols that bring awareness, builds relationships, and strengthens our district and our community. As a district, we just want to share out that we took this matter seriously and will continue to do so. Thus far, we researched the DARE program, we reviewed our social emotional learning curriculum, the California state standards, we surveyed 5th grade teachers, parents, and students. We met with the Benicia Police Department, parent groups and community groups, our 5th grade teachers, elementary principals, and our Solano County Office of Education Youth Development Department. And in summary, what we've learned: the DARE program experienced opposition back in the 90s when independent evaluators found that the program had little long-term influence on drug use. The criticisms prompted the DARE staff, law enforcement, educators, scientific advisory boards to explore alternative options to present a stronger program. And in 2008, they selected the Keeping It Real curriculum that was developed by prevention scientists at Penn State and Arizona State University. And in 2013, they adopted the elementary version of that program, the program that we use today. That revised DARE curriculum focuses more on decision-making and more on the authoritative approach of the just say no approach. Lesson topics include drug education, self-control, risk and consequences, bullying, getting help, helping others, communication, and safe and responsible decision-making. We found that those lesson topics complement our social emotional learning curriculum that has 3 overarching themes that include skills for learning empathy, emotion management, and problem solving. When we surveyed our parents, our students, and our teachers, and when we met with our principals in our police department, those showed a strong support for the DARE program, largely because the DARE program lessons reinforce our social emotional learning lessons that we're teaching. There was strong support for the value of the relationship between our Benicia Police Department and our students. Teachers and principals reported the confidence in the adaptability for the middle school transition from our students. And we can't forget about the seeds that are planted that typically grow sometime in the future, and sometimes we never get to see. When we had our discussion with our parent group, staff representatives from one of our elementary schools, there was concern with the effectiveness of the DARE program. There was a belief that credentialed teachers or counselors should teach those lessons. And also police officers teaching the lessons in uniforms send negative connotations for criminalizing drug use. After considering all of this information and talking with all of our stakeholders, we plan to continue using our DARE program for the 22-23 school year. This will ensure that our 5th grade students have the option to participate in the program, and if they have the opportunity to opt out as well. They'll have an opportunity to develop relationships with our SROs and have access to our drug and alcohol standards and the additional social emotional learning curriculum support that they would receive. There are some that feel that it's not the district's responsibility to give our police department an avenue to develop relationships with our students. I believe it's the district's responsibility to give our students an avenue to develop relationships with our officers. For some, historical interactions with the police have been negative, with limited opportunities to build trust. For some, the only connections our students may have with law enforcement may be turning on the TV or social media and viewing the horrific events that continue to take place publicly. As a school district, a learning organization, we have an opportunity to build a bridge for students to develop relationships and become comfortable calling upon the police when needed, because that relationship is important, because at some point in their life, they're going to need to interact with law enforcement. Perhaps that relationship that they develop during DARE may encourage them to become law enforcement officials and become part of the change that we're seeking. Similar to all programs within our district, we continue to evaluate. And that is the same with DARE, to make sure that it's effective. This will also give our teachers and administrators an opportunity to evaluate the program in real time while understanding some of the concerns that were brought forward. And it also gives staff an opportunity to consider, develop, and pilot a thoughtful alternative program if deemed necessary. There's certainly conversations that we will engage in with our police department as we negotiate successor contracts. We'll work closely with Benicia Police Department regarding the feedback we receive. I just want to close tonight, my report, by just assuring our community that we are in the latter stages of finalizing our communication protocols to ensure that our communication is timely, predictable, and candid should another unfortunate incident occur in our organization. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move on to our last item, item 13, consideration and approval of a ratification of temporary special ed. I'm going to not read all that. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Gill. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President, trustees, Dr. Wright, cabinet and community members. So originally we used to have a position called behaviorist. In the spring, based on the needs of the district and the students, staff had recommended to change their position to program specialist. But as they further looked into needs of the staff, especially teachers, new teachers, special education, the suggestion and recommendation was to change this into an instructional coach position to support our teachers with writing IEPs, assessing students and other special education needs, to provide that support for our special education teachers. So we are bringing a revised job description forward as a ratification to have this job description as the special education instructional coach and behaviorist as a temporary position for one school year for us to see how this goes. So we are looking forward to have providing on-site real-time support to the teachers from ATOSA, so who actually has experience working with special education and so on.
Thank you. Any questions from anybody?
Yeah, I have a question. Will this person be working with just new teachers or
All any
staff?
teachers and staff,
Okay.
and sometimes even students if needed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so can I get a motion on the table for everything that's 13A?
I'll move.
If somebody wants to read it all, just a bunch of words right now.
I'll move to approve the position for special education instructional coach and behaviorist.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Moss.
Yes.
Trustee Ferrucci.
Yes.
And Trustee Groves.
Yes.
Nice.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. This brings us to the end of our meeting. I want to thank you all for being here in person. Hello and goodbye. And I want you to note it's 7:40. It's the end of our meeting. We did that in 40 minutes. Bravo, everybody. Thank you at home. Mikey, welcome back. And Mrs. Martinez, congratulations on the 3rd year anniversary of you being with our district. So thank you. We appreciate it. See y'all later. See you on, yes, the 15th of September. Bye.